The Thunder just made a massive signing as Chet Holmgren was extended on a 5-year deal that could reach upwards of $250 million. That is $50 million per year, but that's not really what he is making. Let's not get it twisted or anything. Yeah, it's a 5-year, $250 million deal. That's what he could be making, okay? Realistically, it's only around $230 to $240 million. The rest of the money that he could earn are based off of incentives. That's what's happening right now. They're going to be based off of incentives. This is what he could be, making if he does everything the Thunder want him to do. So let's, not blow it out of proportion. Let's not also say this is going to ruin the team, okay? But I've seen way too many people compare it to the Boston Celtics, what happened with them. That is a completely different situation than what the Thunder have going on right now. I'm going to break down for you guys why this is completely different in today's episode of Thunder Digest. Before we get into all of that, though, quick moment to recognize that 81% of you guys watching these videos are not yet subscribed to this channel. This number keeps going down every single day. Really want to try to reach that 70% mark as soon as possible, then eventually 60 and 50. But let's aim for 70 first, okay? So if you guys are coming back on a regular basis, you enjoyed the content we're putting out, or if you're new to the channel and you want to support, the best way to do so is just by hitting that subscribe button so we can get these videos out to more people in the YouTube algorithm. Help us beat that YouTube algorithm by hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and turning that bell notification on. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this contract for Chet Holmgren. I've seen a lot of people say it's an overpay, all right? Do I think it's an overpay? When you consider his injury, history, yeah, it is. Did he earn that, though? He was the number 2 overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. Some people had him going first overall as well to the Magic. He, before the injury, he was a top-tier player already in the NBA. He was on pace for an all-defensive team. So I think he, 100% earned the contract. I just, personally me, I wouldn't have gave him the max considering his injury history. That's my problem with it, all right? But he earned it, 100%. A ring, third best player on a championship team at 22 years old, I believe. He earned the contract. He did, okay? So let's not get it twisted. This is also what the contract is exactly. Sean's tweeted out, Oklahoma State Thunder star and NBA champion Chet Holmgren has agreed to a fully guaranteed 5-year maximum rookie contract extension that could reach $250 million, agent Bill Duffy of WME Basketball told ESPN. So it could reach $250 million. Is it immediately $250? No, it's not. It's not $250 million right off the bat. It could reach that number. It's more like $230, okay? This is a breakdown of Chet's extension at 5 years, $239 million. This is what it's expected to be, all right? It's, guaranteed for $239 million, but can get up to $250 million, as mentioned here. That's, completely based off of incentives, all right? This is based on the estimated 26-27 salary cap as well when his extension goes into play. $41 million the first year, 44, 47, 51, 54, all right? So, yes, he's going to be making a lot of money. He is. There's no getting around it. He will be making a ton of money. We're also waiting on the dub extension. We're waiting on that. Those three combined, they're going to be making around $160 million of the Thunder's cap space. All right, somewhere around that range, 150, 160. Starting lineup will be around that 160 to 170 range as well. I see a lot of people talk about this is going to ruin the Thunder. This right here will ruin the team. No, it isn't. It is not going to ruin the team. All right? Go ahead, pump the brakes. You want to go ahead and go in the comment section and tell me I'm wrong. It's 100% going to ruin the team. Look at the Celtics. The difference between the Thunder and the Celtics had 5 players on their roster making close to $30 million or more. All right, the lowest paid starter for the Celtics was Derek White at $29 million a year. That's what it was. Tatum was making 54, Brown was making 50, Kristaps was making 30, and Drew Holiday was making $33 million a year. All right, all those combined. You add it all up, it's around $190 million just for the starting 5. That's going into the second apron already. All right, so they're going to have to trade players no matter what. But that's what happens for these large markets. You can risk doing that and then just trade those players away. They could do that. That's what they did with Kristaps and Drew Holiday. That's what they did. They looked at it as like, look, we need to clear up space. These two guys, they're not going to cut it for us in the future. They did their job. They got us this ring before they got injured and older. Let's go ahead and trade them off while they still have value to get some other players. That's what they did. They did it well. The Thunder aren't going to have that problem because they're just going to have 3 players right now making a substantial amount of money. Chet, Dub, and Shai. Those guys will be making the brunt and majority of the Thunder salary. Okay, paying your top 3 players 85% of the salary. A ton of teams try to do that. If they can have a top-tier trio like the Thunder do, they will pay that kind of money. The Celtics did it. The Celtics did the exact same thing. We see it so many times. The Nets did it. It didn't work out for them, but the difference between the Nets and the Thunder have all these draft picks that they have to build around these players. That's the difference. The Celtics don't have the draft capital that the Thunder have to replace these role players that are leaving free agency and you trade away with rookies that are just going to come off the bench in low, in low leverage roles. All right, as 7th through 10th men for the team. You can do that. You can build championship teams by doing that. You also have Aaron Wiggins locked up long term, Isaiah Joe, Alex Caruso, all right, Jay Will, AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell, he might be the backup point guard. He could end up being a 6-man for the Thunder with how he's been playing in Summer League. And he's only making $3 million a year. The Thunder are set up for the future, so don't act like the Chet Holmgren contract is going to ruin the team. All right? Don't act like it. This is also something we got from it. Jalen Williams has momentum in his rookie extension talks now. All right, now that they've extended Shai and Chet for the maxes, expect Dub to get the max too. And for you guys wondering if Chet deserved this or not, all right? Oh, by the way, I'm going to show you guys this earlier. This is the contract table. I know you can barely see it a little bit. Pause and look at it if you need to get a full breakdown. Give you a second here to do so. All right, so you look at it here. You're going to notice a bunch of players leaving in that 2027-2028 season. What's the significant part about that? That is when Shai's extension goes into place right there, all right? That's when you see it. And the Thunder, yeah, they'll be in the first apron for sure, no doubt about it whatsoever. They can risk that, though. To extend a dynasty, they can risk that. They are now going to have Chet, Shai, and Dub all the way through the 2030-31 season. You have those three guys with how they've been progressing. You're going to have Shai in his prime, Dub and Chet entering their prime as well. You can afford that. You can have that happening, all right? This is also the kind of player Chet was before the extension. Like, he was third in the MVP ladder. This was very early on. This was in the first month, all right, of the season. This was all in October. He was third in the MVP ladder, and rightfully so. He was balling out before the injury. He would look like, a better player than Dub at the start of the season. He did. All right, we can go ahead and take a look at the game logs, all right? November, he ended up averaging 12.3 points per game. Some of that is because he got injured early on in that Golden State game, so you're going to think, oh, he had a stinker that game. No, he got injured, okay? Barely played against Portland because it was a blowout. This happens every so often. Just doesn't play because it's a blowout. But then he has some really good games, like this Houston game. Dropped 29, all right? Denver dropped 15. At the start of the season against Denver, he dropped 25, 14, 5, and 4 blocks. Best performance by anyone on the Thunder that game. 21 points next game, then 25, 19. He averaged 22.5 points a game in October for those first 4 games. He was absurd. Shooting 33% from 3, 58% from the field. All right. Then the next month, he shot 42% from 3. He was a bona fide second star next to Shai. All right. He was the star next to Shai before Dub was this season. He was. And you can see it in these stats. You can see it right there. He averaged, if my math's correct, around 17, 18 points a game before the injury. All right? And let's take the injury out of it, all right? The injury is also going into this. You take the injury out of it, he's probably averaging 21 points a game, 20 points a game, all right? That's probably what he's averaging. So he was the bona fide second star player next to Shai before Dub was. And if you get that next season, who is stopping that team? Shai giving you 33 a night, Dub giving you 22 a night, and then Chet giving you 20 a night, all right? Who's stopping that? That's 85 points just from those players. Or not 85, sorry, math's wrong. 75 points just from those players, okay? You add in Dort, who's going to give you 10. Hartenstein, who's going to give you 10. That's down 95. Your bench, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, AJ Mitchell, these top-tier offensive players, okay? And then the defense going into it. Who cares if he gave him this much money if the Thunder have a legit chance of going back-to-back now and making a dynasty out of this? Who cares about the money? Who? It's not like it's going to ruin the team. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not the Boston Celtics. It isn't. All right? The Thunder have amassed, a ton of draft capital over the years to where if they do lose someone to free agency or they trade them away to make up, cap space, they can just replace them with 2 players. This is the exact same thing as Moneyball if you look at it. If you guys, keep up with baseball, you look at the Oakland Athletics, this is the same thing. Presti has his top guys that he's going to pay, and if he lets someone walk in free agency, he's just going to replace them with younger, cheaper guys. All right? Like, it's the same thing as Moneyball. The Athletics let Jason Giambi walk. They replaced him with 3 guys, all right? And they ended up having a better team. The Thunder can do the same thing. Hartenstein, this is probably his last year because of the team option and how much money he'd be making, along with the Chet and Dub extensions going into play after his final year of his contract, okay? He's probably going to let him walk. You replace him with Sorber and some other rookie. That's what happens. Just replace them with these draft picks, with these young guys who will be cheap and you can maintain on the roster. That's what you do. This is literally Moneyball that the Oakland Athletics did, and Sam Presti is doing a better job at it because it's the NBA and it's easier to do it in this league. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about the contract extension, and if you like my comparison to the Oakland Athletics Moneyball to what the Thunder are doing right here. I'm not talking about the current Athletics. I'm talking about when the Athletics were good and making the pennant every year. All right? That's all I got for this video. See you guys in the next one.